Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, the Home Cook Hero, back with a new video, and I'm showing y'all today how to make crispy mustard fried pork chops. Yes, y'all, this recipe is so good and so foolproof. So if you are interested, stick around. Let's go. All right, y'all. So first things first, I am just drying off the pork chops, making sure they're really dry. I just finished cleaning them. And then after that, y'all, I am just going in to slice off some of that excess fat that I just really don't want in my pork chops. If you want that extra fat in there, you definitely can. Just be mindful that it'll be a little chewy, to say the least. So yeah, y'all, I'm just cutting off all of that stuff, and then after that, we're going in with the seasonings. So first, I'm going in with some black pepper. I use more of that later, you'll see. And I also went in with some garlic powder. I really just wanted to really cover the entire surface of the meat. So yeah, I'm going back in with that black pepper. And then after that, y'all, I am just going in with a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and I am just flipping over that meat to make sure I get Cajun seasoning on every corner and nook and cranny of those pork chops, because we want maximum surface coverage. So then after that, y'all, I am going in with the mustard, and I didn't use too much, but you really just want to use enough just to make sure that the mustard and the egg will kind of create a little bit of wetness to really grip that those panko breadcrumbs, because that's what we're going to use to really make these pork chops nice and crispy. So after that, y'all, I am just mixing everything up together really thoroughly. Y'all know what I do. All right, y'all, so now I am just placing the pork chop into some panko breadcrumbs that I have, and I'm just pressing it in there to make sure that I get as much of those breadcrumbs to stick to that flesh as possible. And if you don't know, panko breadcrumbs are originally, I believe, a Japanese product, and I like to use them when I'm frying stuff that I want to be extra crispy and crunchy. So like some crispy fried shrimp, or if you're making some, even if you're making some chicken parm or something like that, the panko definitely will give it a nice added layer of crunch that you wouldn't get from just regular breadcrumbs. So yeah, that's why I'm using panko on this dish right here. But I also wanted to use flour as well, because that's what I'm more used to when I'm making fried pork chops or fried whatever. I'm used to just using the flour. Y'all seen it in some of my other videos. But I also wanted to just go in with a layer of flour, and then after that, I placed this pork chop into the panko breadcrumbs, because I wanted to just kind of like see what it would turn out like what would it do, what would happen. So yeah, that's what you see here. I'm just placing that pork chop that I first put into the flour, and yeah, I'm just placing it into the panko, and I'm just gonna do like a little experiment on my own. So this is just what it looks like. I'm just giving you like a little close-up shot there to show you what it looks like. I mean, y'all have seen things floured with flour and breadcrumbs before, I'm sure. But y'all, I also went back in just to not to waste any of those breadcrumbs that I had left, or that panko that I had left, and I just put in that first pork chop that I just only covered in panko. So basically just a double coating of the panko for that first pork chop. Now, y'all, I am going into the skillet that I had heating up on about medium to medium high for a couple of minutes, and I just tested it beforehand to make sure that the oil was nice and hot. You can just drop in a little piece of panko or breadcrumb or flour or whatever you have, just to see what it does. And if it starts to kind of like not fizzle, but I guess sizzle, then you are good to go. But if not, you want to wait for a couple more minutes. So I just placed the pork chops into the skillet, and I'm just going to let them cook on that side for like 4 to 5 minutes. And you want pork to cook to about 145 degrees, and that is when it is done. So you'll see me in a little bit kind of like stick my meat thermometer in there just to test the temperature. It sound right, boy. And y'all, after about 4 minutes, this is what the pork chops are looking like, and you can see like the nice brown color on the bottom. And yeah, I knew it was definitely time to flip these bad boys over. So yeah, that's what I did. I'm using metal tongs in this non-stick skillet, so I know I shouldn't be doing that, but I really just wanted to do it. So yeah, y'all, I'm just flipping over the pork chops, and then I am going to let them cook on the other side for like 5 minutes or so. And y'all, I know you see this pork chop, the one on the right, is a little bit light skinned, but that's just because have y'all seen Norbit with Eddie Murphy and with Rasputia? He played Rasputia too, and she was getting into the car, and she was like she was too big. She was like honking all on the horn and stuff like that. She was trying to get in, and she was saying something like, "Oh, I got a trick hip or whatever." Well, I have a trick stove, and I have to move the stuff whenever I'm cooking stuff on the stove, especially in like a skillet. I have to move the stuff all in the pan because the stove really just heats unevenly. And so yeah, I have a trick stove and I've just learned how to deal with it. So yeah, you'll see me in a little bit kind of just flipping over that lighter piece of pork and just flipping it over and stuff like that to make sure it cooks. But y'all, back to this. I right here am going in with that meat thermometer just to check the temperature, and we weren't quite at 145 degrees yet, as you'll see, and I decided just to let it cook a little bit longer. Yeah, we're at like 128. But yeah, you can always take it out maybe when you're at like 130, 135 or something like that, because the pork will definitely still cook while it's out of the pan. So if you really want something that's nice and juicy, definitely, you know, take it out at about 135 and just let it cook for the rest of the way outside of the pan. But if you're like me, I don't really mind it as much. You know, I want my pork well done. This isn't beef or a nice ribeye or anything. So, you know, my pork can be nice and well done. It's fine. So yeah, y'all, this other one that we just used the panko with, that one is all ready to come out, as you'll see. So I'm taking that one out. So for anybody keeping track, the one with the panko looks a lot better to me. It was browned more evenly, and even with the trick stove, it still just came out a little bit better to me. So I'm just, you know, treating this other one with the flour and stuff with a little bit more love. I'm just flipping it over again to make sure that it has enough time to cook, and really just so it can brown up more, because it's already cooked. I just want it to brown up a little bit more. And as you'll see, that pork chop is nice and brown now, so it is all ready to come out. And I am just plating everything up right here, y'all. Nothing too fancy, you know, just some pork chops, just some, you know, some crispy pork chops, you know, something slight. All right, y'all, so we are finished cooking everything, and I'm just slicing into that pork chop now, and just look at what that thing looks like. Just look at it. You see a little piece of panko just kind of crumbling off because the outside is just so crispy and crunchy. The inside is nice and succulent, perfectly cooked, still juicy. Y'all, this recipe was just everything I really could have asked for. I really hope you give it a try, because I sure enjoyed it. So y'all, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the recipe, or if you want to try it, definitely let me know down in the comments below. You can like this video, you can even subscribe to the channel, y'all, if you want to see more videos just like this one. So y'all, with that said, I will see y'all in the next video. Later.